So we are live, but then I have to figure out how to share it. Well, we're not there just yet. We gotta figure out how to share this.
Well, there's profound like lineage with the Africans, Castle Roman, Chicanas, Latinx, theater in LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about that dissertation too, of course.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay, yeah. This number go.
Just about ready. Just about ready.
Thank you for being here. Oh, I was here last time. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. We were also in the Oh, yeah. We were married. She was mean to me.
We're almost ready. We're almost ready.
Cool.
I had to make a new link though.
That looks good.
Just about. Couple minutes.
So you're gonna read the setup.
Okay.
Receive.
Oh, we have a stage direction. Maddie's stage
Okay,
direction.
she's on.
All right.
Take a picture.
That's right.
All right. So let's make sure that. All right. Let's make sure we all can be seen. Okay. We're gonna have to scoot it backwards.
They cut you loose.
There we go. There we go. Wait. Oh, Harry's too far. Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
How's that look? No, no, no.
Okay.
Something. Missing something in the middle. No, it's okay. This is gonna be difficult, Henry. We might have Henry. You might have to scoot somewhere, or somebody might. Oh, hold on. What if I did this? Here, come through. Help me out quick. Oh, yeah. Hey, all right, Juan Carlos. Thank you, maestro. All right. All right, so Henry, take a seat. Let's see if we can see you. All right, we can see part of you. Some people are a little cut off, but I think this is as best we're gonna get it. Remember, the name of tonight is Wasquatchie. All right, so before I trip and fall, we are about to begin. So again, I just thank everybody for coming. For the few people that are live stream, welcome. This is going to be the first official stage reading of Judge Washington. And just for the reading and for all the actors, I want you to please have fun with it. Please make it your own. I'm going to tell you right now, please beware of typos. They are relentless problems. So if you see a typo, don't worry. Either go over it or you can say it. You're not going to ruin it. So again, please feel free, be loose, and enjoy yourselves. And yes, I believe that's it. Any questions before we begin? See, I'm still in teacher mode. I'm always asking for questions. All right. Yeah, well, without further ado, this is Judge Washington. Maddie, I believe you are doing stage direction, so whenever you want to start us off.
Act 1, Scene 1, Train Tracks. Judge Washington stands by the train tracks. The train could be heard in the distance. To his left, Santana is prepping materials to be transported from the tracks to the mine. With her are Delgado and the other miners from Osier Mining Corporation.
You smell there?
Excuse me? Santana stops working and walks over to Judge Washington.
In the air, boy. Floating above the stench of diesel and horse shit.
I can't say I do.
Progress, boy.
Progress? What progress?
I'm progress, boy. Right here in front of you. You know, you're working hard, but you're not a slave. You're working as a free man. You know, some would say that's progress.
I fought for that progress.
He did.
Came out west, never looked back, and haven't settled since.
Can you for a second?
Yeah, script is different.
Okay, hold on. See, Wasquatchie. Wasquatchie, Brad. Yeah, it's just that first name.
No worries.
We're good. Still going.
Are you proud of that?
Damn right. Santana spits, nearly hitting the judge's shoe. So who are you?
I am civilization. Coming here to dispense a white man's justice, and I warn you. I warn you not to test me, girl.
Deputy Phillips enters.
What's all this?
To Deputy Phillips. Nothing.
You sure about that?
Delgado leaves the other miners and walks over to Santana's side.
She's sure. We'll see.
To Deputy Phillips.
Have a good day.
To Santana.
Come on, let's go.
Delgado puts an arm around the shoulder over Santana and starts to motion him away. To Delgado. It was that stupid gringo.
I know.
Santana and Delgado walk back to the other miners and together they exit.
What's her problem?
Oh, that's just Santana. She's always starting something or another.
What kind of something?
Agitating mostly. Getting the other gals in town and causing a fuss over rights or whatever. She's with the union. You know what they're like.
This town is a little small for union trouble.
The town is, but the mine isn't.
I see. And you are?
Deputy Phillips, sir. I mean, Your Honor.
Pleasure. I am Judge Washington. Your Honor is fine.
Well, this way, Your Honor.
I know where the court is. Is you ready for me?
Yes, it is. Spent all of yesterday putting it together myself. This way.
Judge Washington hands the deputy his briefcase and together they exit. Act 1, Scene 2, Courtroom. The courtroom is a converted storeroom with only a desk at its center and randomly assembled chairs aligning its walls on opposite sides. The desk is bare and his chair is kicked over. The morning is still cold, but the room is already hot. Judge Washington enters. He is led in by Deputy Phillips. Inside the room, seated on one of the chairs, is Bob McKee.
Judge.
Hold on. I just got here.
Deputy Phillips sets the judge's case on the desk and picks up the chair and slides it into place. He then takes a seat on the right side on the chair closest to the judge and his desk.
Please, sir, give the judge a moment. He's had a very long ride from,
Judge Washington ignores Bob McKee, walks to the desk, and puts his hands to the latches on his briefcase. Opening it, he begins to take out papers.
From El Paso, and before that, Tucson.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but this is an emergency.
Fine then. If it's an emergency, let's hear it.
Bob McKee stands up and walks to the center of the room and stands before the judge. He's anxious and sweating from the liquor and heat.
She's here. Well, not here, but probably on her way here soon. Very soon. Hell, she could be at the saloon right now, helping herself to your best whiskey or worse. And the bank, unloading the safe.
I think you ought to calm down.
Dear God, she could be right outside, ready to kick down the door and shoot us all to pieces. Greaser, like her wouldn't even rob us when she was through. No, she'd kill us for sport.
Who, damn it? What the hell are you talking about?
Why, I don't know exactly. She isn't no Jesse James or Billy the Kid. All in the papers, you know, but her name is...
Sounds more like a great big old rumor, if you ask me.
Is that what this is? You know, it's a crime to fool around about with an officer of court.
Josefa. I've heard a Mexican call her by the name of Josefa.
You come to tell me that there is a Mexican woman named Josefa. Would you like me to ask the deputy to place you under arrest until you learn how this is no emergency?
No, wait. You don't understand. She's not just some Mexican whore or dim-witted housewife. She's a bandit. She's murdered, robbed, kidnapped.
Deputy, do you have any idea what this man is talking about?
No, I've never heard of a greaser woman being anything short of this.
She likes it that way. That you haven't heard of her. Your Honor, she is a snake.
Oh, calm down, boy. Yeah, look, do not make me ask you again. Now, clear. This man is convinced there's someone out there like this. Deputy, tell me, has there been any violence in the brothels, pickpocketing whores, and that are good with a knife?
A pickpocket? A knife? No, Your Honor. You've got it all wrong. She uses guns. 2 of them. Colt Navy revolvers.
I'm still wondering what great concern it is of yours. Why you can't just be some good Samaritan? What's got you so all riled up about this woman?
I saw her shoot down my father in Los Angeles last winter.
I'm sorry to hear that. Damn, greasers done killed my king.
Yes, my condolences. But you did say you saw her.
I did, Your Honor.
Well, do you have a likeness of her? Her face? Something we can show to the sheriff and to the Mexicans in town?
I don't, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Don't fret. Yeah. Can we get someone here, over here, some artistic persuasion over here? Can we bring them in?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but it won't do no good. I don't know what she looks like.
You're shitting.
Hold on. How is it that you saw her, but you don't know what she looks like?
From the back. I saw the back of a dirty old sombrero. That's all I saw of her. But what I did get a good look at, a real good look at, was my father, John McGee. Mouth wide open and his eyes. His eyes!
Bob McGee falls to his knees in exaggerated English.
Okay, okay. Calm down, son. Last time I'll tell you, this is a court of law. I can't have you in here weeping like a woman.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest and brief with you. I wish I could do more, but I have a full docket as it is. I do believe that you did see some grease to kill your father. Where you got these wild ideas of it being some Mexican woman, I can only attribute to the certain kind of madness that comes with your grief.
Bob McGee crawls his way to Judge Washington's desk and climbs his way up it until he is able to look over the top.
Your Honor! Your Honor!
Deputy?
Deputy Phillips stands up and rushes in and restrains Bob McGee.
Look, because I feel for you and your loss, I will not hold you in contempt, nor shall I have you detained in any way. In fact, I'd like you to leave this town.
But
Bob McGee prones out and lets the deputy struggle with his dead weight, refusing to leave.
I ask you to please accept that my rule is final. And to help you do that, I'm going to have here Deputy Phillips escort you out of town.
Deputy Phillips starts to drag Bob McGee out.
Your Honor! Your Honor! Your Honor!
Deputy Phillips wrestles Bob McGee up to his feet enough for him to be pushed out of the courtroom. As they leave, enter Doña Sofia Josefa.
Miss Sophia, is that you?
Hola, mi juez.
Come in. Come in here, darling. Who's that with you?
Doña Sofia and Josefa enter and stand before the judge. Doña Sofia is formal and respectful. It's obvious Josefa doesn't want to be there. She fidgets and can't keep still. I'm sorry for being late. I'm also very sad.
What's why, Miss Sophia? What's going on?
I can no longer work for you. I am leaving this town.
Leaving? But why? Is someone after you? A greaser? Or a cowboy? You can tell me, girl.
No, nothing like that. It's something very good, really. Very exciting, mi juez. I'm to be married, and mi esposo is moving to Chicago for work. And he's asked me to go with him.
I see. And this man of yours, what kind of work does he do?
Meat packing, mi juez.
Well, you should be careful now, Miss Sophia. Sounds like an ugly profession if you've ever heard one. Dirty hands, pawing all over you at night. Listen, you just get tired of your old greaser husband mitts. You just come on right on back, okay, girl?
Oh, mi juez, you're too kind to me. And mi esposo, he's not Mexican.
You married a white man. Good. I'll admit I'm still jealous of the man, but good for you, Miss Sophia. Now wait, he's not an Irish Catholic, is he?
No, mi juez, he's black. Judge Washington drops the papers he'd been holding and pauses, biting his tongue.
Well, there are many things I would like to say, and I probably shouldn't. But as you now not spoil your excitement, I would just ask that you be careful. Okay, Miss Sophia? And heed my words. Any trouble, you just come right on back.
Quez, you're so funny. And I wish I could stay longer to work with you today, one last time, but I can't.
You can?
I'm leaving. My husband and I have tickets for the afternoon train.
Do they even let this kind on train?
It's a special car in the back.
Damn progress.
Quez, don't worry. I brought my own replacement. This is Sorpresita, and she will be working with you today.
I am disappointed, Miss Sophia. As for Sorpresita, I'd like to say she's very pretty. But it appears to me she is also very
Sweet?
pregnant.
Quez, I trained her myself. She can cook, clean, and take the notes you need.
Those notes I need are the official court record. I need a girl who can read and write in English. Sorpresita, can you speak English?
Josefa shakes her head.
Not a good start. But I can't assume you at least understand English.
Josefa nods her head.
What about reading and writing it? Can you do that?
Trust me, Miquez. I wouldn't bring her if she wasn't good.
Let her answer.
Josefa straightens her back and stares directly into the judge's eyes, mad dogging him.
Soy chicana, que no?
That's supposed to be a yes?
Josefa nods her head and returns to her not wanting to be there demeanor.
Now, can she write it and read it? But she can't even speak it.
In her last job, they had her read and take notes in English, but they never let her speak it. They were very strict, and that's why she quit.
You know what, Miss Sophia? This ain't gonna work.
Please, this girl, she's very unfortunate. The father, that dog, he left her, and now she's bitter and lonely, and needs this job. If you can just see it in your heart.
Stop. Stop. You should consider yourselves lucky that I'm on a tight schedule and cannot afford for you to go back and get me a proper girl. So I'm going to be forced to use this Sorpresita here. But for that attitude of hers and that assumed risk I'm taking by keeping her, I'm only going to have to give her half in your fee. I'm donating it to pay her. Happy?
Doña Sofia nods her head, whispers a goodbye to Josefa's ear, bows her head before turning and leaving the room as quickly as possible, almost running and without looking back.
But don't just stand there looking at the door. You're mine until I leave this godforsaken town tomorrow. Now get your brown ass to work.
Act 1, Scene 3, Courtroom. Judge Washington is sitting at his desk reading some papers. Josefa is in the upper left-hand corner of the room, overlooking the room. She pulled a chair from one of the sides, its absence noticeably missing. Sitting, she has a large, hard-covered book resting on her lap. Opening it, she idly flips through the pages. Sheriff Banks enters.
Ah, Sheriff Banks. The corruption proceedings aren't until this afternoon.
Why? Are you the band before?
You goddamn rattlesnake. I was wondering when you were going to walk into my courtroom.
This is a horrible? What will I never guess?
What? Now, what can I tell you? It's the best this town of idiots can rustle up with plenty of notice.
You were here, what, 6 months ago? We didn't think to expect you back so soon.
8 months. And I've got a day's worth of your citizens who say I wasn't back soon enough.
That's what brings me here this morning,
What?
to wish a good morning and to tell you that one of my citizens is on his way here to seek your services.
Is he a long-standing member of the community?
Can't say he is. Came to town here 4 months ago, looking very flashy, claiming to be from Kansas City.
Where did he go wrong?
Not too sure if he did it, but his plans come to particularly dangerous fix that only you could get him out of.
What's his plan?
To turn the whole family of dumb Mexicans out of their land.
Well, did he do it?
I guess you're the one to decide that, Judge.
And why are you here?
To see that those Mexicans don't go and cut his heart when you go the right way.
Judge Washington and Sheriff Banks are interrupted by Stewart quickly entering, followed by Don Obregon and his sons. Stewart and Don Obregon take their positions at the center standing before Judge Washington. The Don's sons and daughters all take seats on the left side of the room, the same side as where their father is standing.
Yes, Sheriff. I'm afraid we just might need you.
Your Honor, I beg of you, those men, their dogs, animals, I mean.
Don't listen to a word he says, Wes. If there is an animal amongst us, it's the man here, for he's a low-down bingo weasel.
The Don's sons begin to shout obscenities at Stewart, some rising but not all the way getting up from their seats.
Hey, this is a court of law. Keep it up, and as sheriff, I'll throw the whole damn lot of you in jail.
Tranquilo, hijos.
So, who's going to tell me what this is all about?
My apologies, Your Honor. I would have mentioned it when I first came in if I wasn't being chased.
Mention what?
I am set to be here at 9:30 a.m.
You're late.
Your Honor, I would have been on time, but like I said, I was being chased.
Well, you're here now. And your name is?
Judge Washington checks one of the papers on his desk. In the background, Josefa starts to write in the book, taking notes for the court docket.
Alexander Stewart.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Then I take it that the ones chasing you are the Don Obregon and his boys.
See, Wes, that's us.
So why?
I made the mistake of doing business with Mexicans, and now I am afraid for my life.
Do not listen to that scared little gringo. If you wanted his life, we'd have taken it.
Just what do you want, Don Obregon? I see here that you are one that requested this meeting.
I want the court of the United States to recognize the deed to my land.
Patricia Obregon, sitting closest to Judge Washington and her father, stands up and quickly drops a rolled up piece of parchment on the judge's desk, then quickly returns to her seat. The judge opens it and gives it one look before tossing it aside.
This ain't gonna do. These documents are in Spanish.
What does that have to do with anything?
Watch it, old man.
I don't speak any Spanish, and neither does this court of the United States. Now, how would I even know their reading?
The most recent deed, dated 1841, was given by a Mexican government. You can see the insignia of General Reynaldo Castañeda.
United States nor myself recognize this band of thieves and rascals you call the Mexican government.
Patricia jumps up and rushes forward and places another piece of parchment on Judge Washington's desk. Judge Washington picks it up, but doesn't open it.
That deed is dated November of 1798. And it is from the Spanish crown and signed by Viceroy all the way down in Mexico City.
The United States has a special, well-ingrained resentment for all things regal. A resentment I share. So, no, Don. If what you say is true, I don't even care to look at this damn deed.
Judge Washington tosses the deed aside. It rolls off the desk and falls to the floor alongside the first deed. Deputy Phillips enters quietly and takes the seat nearest to Judge Washington, on the same right side as the sheriff.
You are not the first to tell them that. Many have, but typical, they don't listen.
And where do you come from, Mr. Stewart?
Mr. Stewart came with his lies and his treachery.
Lies and treachery?
I came to the Don and told him if he wanted his deed to be recognized, then he would need to hire an American surveyor.
A surveyor like you.
Surveying for our blessed government is one of my many talents.
Cheating honest people is another.
Obregon. Now you respect my court.
Honestly, Judge, I came to them with a very good deal. I was to survey the land, and as an added bonus, I had already lined up an East Coast buyer that would take the excess land.
So, did the deal go through?
It did, quite successfully. I surveyed their land, cut up all the barren and ugly pieces, which I later sold to a Mr. Chickless of Pittsburgh.
Patricia stands up and starts to walk towards Mr. Stewart, but her brothers stop her.
You damn liar. Our land was not barren, and none of it was ugly. You took it all for yourself, you greedy gringo.
Sheriff, now get that woman out of here.
Sheriff thanks and nods his head to Phillips. Phillips stands up and marches to Don Obregon's sons. At first, the sons are reluctant to let Patricia go. Deputy Phillips puts his hand on his gun as he approaches them. Seeing this, Don Obregon nods for his sons to release Patricia. When Deputy Phillips takes hold of Patricia roughly, he waits until he almost has her at the exit, then shoves her forward, making her fall. The Don's sons start to rise, but Don Obregon silences and calms them with a familiar look and a gesture. Deputy Phillips, disappointed that he didn't get a rise out of the Don's sons, pushes Patricia out of the room and they exit.
I understand your race is hot-blooded and absent-minded one. And so I won't have that girl locked up for contempt.
Thank you, Wes. Mi hija is...
Well, what's this all about now with Mr. Stewart?
Mr. Stewart. He hung around town, and when he heard of my family's troubles, he came talking about his talents. He made us his offer. It sounded sincere, so we agreed. For 2 weeks, I allowed him to stay at my ranch, tolerating his poor manners and the unwanted attention he was giving to my daughters, just so we could fix this and keep our land.
Okay. As per the deal, Stewart was given permission to sell only the excess lands. You should still have your land.
I have a quarter of my land. That's what Mr. Stewart left me when he was done. The rest he sold to some man named Chicles, and a man who gave him a very large fee.
You have the deed with the map now reflecting Mr. Stewart's work?
I have it right here, Your Honor, ready for you to sign and officiate.
Mr. Stewart steps forward and places the piece of paper on the judge's desk. Judge Washington quickly picks it up and reads it.
Well, Mr. Don Obregon, it appears to me that everything is in working order.
But Wes!
Steady that temper, old man. And you listen. You hired Mr. Stewart to survey your land and to draw up a new map reflecting the boundaries and borders of your land under the United States. Now, a backwater nation like Mexico or an old decrepit kingdom like Spain.
You can't. Wes, this land has been in our family since up north from Durango. My grandfather even married the daughter of an Indian chief. Our blood is in this land.
Judge Washington pulls out a pen and signs the document.
As of now, what was your land now officially belongs to Mr. Chickens. This new deed shows a plot that is still yours, much smaller than it used to be. But as a judge of the United States, I can tell you it's yours, unless you want to sell. I'm sure Mr. Stewart here has some friends back east.
Judge, this isn't enough land to make a living. No space for my grazing or my area or my crops or sowing. I have 12 sons and daughters and more grandchildren than I can count. And what am I to do?
Don Obregon, what you and your lot do is not up to this court. But you do have to leave, as I am done with this business for today.
Don Obregon raises his fist, opens his mouth to say something, but stops when he sees the sheriff put his hands on his gun. His sons come up behind him, comfort him, and lead him out of the room.
Don't forget your deed.
Don Obregon waves his hand in the air, dismissing the judge, and leaves along with the sons. They exit. Stewart reaches to pick up the signed deed.
Well, if the dog doesn't want it, I'm sure I can find a use for it.
Judge Washington slams his fist down on the paper, keeping Stewart from retrieving it.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Of course, Your Honor, I apologize. You have my thanks, and I shall forever hold you in the utmost regard.
Keep your thanks, boy, and your damn regards. Did you forget about my fee?
Fee?
Judge's fee for dispensing the right kind of justice. I could have just easily ruled that little map of yours was fraudulent. See, I believe that the old greaser, and I saw right through your scheme. I might have had in mind to destroy this paper, and then what would you do?
Well, of course, Your Honor, your fee
is $155 plus another 25 for the sheriff. And you got that, Mr. Stewart?
Yes. Well, no, not on me.
Well, I'll tell you what. You have until tomorrow, Mr. Stewart. I leave on the 6 a.m. carriage out. You pay your fee by then, and this deed is yours. If you don't, then I'm going to have to destroy it, making this whole damn document void. Got it?
Stewart nods his head and backs away towards the door. The sheriff and the judge share a laugh. Josefa stops writing and lets the large book close on her lap. Act 1, Scene 4, courtroom. Sheriff Banks and Judge Washington are talking. Josefa is sitting in the back, obviously bored, waiting with her logbook. Miss Lopez enters, followed by Dr. Saybrook in cuffs, being led by Deputy Phillips. They both take their places before Judge Washington, and Phillips returns to his seat.
You are here for one or to see the judge?
I am here to see El Juez.
Hold on now. What's all this?
I cannot spend another night in the same house with that man.
Josefa flips open the logbook and starts to write.
Stop. I'll hear from the deputy.
The doc over here got a little rough with his wife. And now she wants to leave him.
A little rough. Look at my eye, my nose, my lip. It still bleeds when I touch it.
I'm sorry. Script? Okay, here. Cue me up again, please.
A little rough. Look at my eye, my nose, my lip. It still bleeds when I touch it.
You said doc, deputy?
Allow me, Your Honor. I am Dr. Seabrook. I run a small private practice in the town here.
Is that so?
He isn't lying. God's really good when it comes to finding sick.
Saved my life too.
Your line?
The boy is exaggerating, Your Honor. Some Indian knifed him over some quarrel over vagrancy. Nothing of good out of surgery could fix.
Well then, when this is over, when I may have you to take a look at me.
I'd be more than happy to, Your Honor.
Sounds like you married up, Mr. Saybrook. So what's your problem?
Lopez, Juez. I refuse to bear that man's last name any longer. I demand a divorce.
You must be joking. A divorce from him? What could ever make you want to do something so foolish?
Can none of you see? I've been attacked by this monster. He came home early from his office angry, screaming at me about one of the gamblers in town. But Juez, he's insane. He does this all the time. Just last week, when the ranchers were driving their cattle, he belted over a loop and he said, I gave a cold hand. And today, over this gambler, he threw a plate at me before he started to hit me.
Well,
what?
Mrs. Saybrook, I think everyone here knows your kind and how your kind can be. Are you sure you didn't do anything?
Excuse me?
Now, you're still a young woman. Perhaps there was a muchacho, or is it muchachos?
I fell in love. That's what I did. I was 15 when this thing moved onto our pueblo, with his gold blonde hair and his gringo charm. We married, and I bore him 3 children. And for 9 years, I put up with his terror. My kids watching their father tossing me around. No, Your Honor, I am done. No more.
And doctor, what do you have to say about all this matter?
Your Honor, you just said it best yourself. You know how they are. Full of affection one day and suffering from a wandering eye another. As a white man, I can't allow myself to be disrespected by my wife. I know what y'all are thinking. I married a greaser, so I brought it on myself. Their kind don't have honest morals. I'm learning that now.
Discipline. I'm telling you, discipline is a key part of any marriage. So I don't fault you for doing what your duty as a husband.
Juez, you can't be serious. Is this a court of law?
It is, and I'm beginning to doubt the placement of a woman, especially a greaser woman, is in it.
Miss Lopez starts to open her mouth to speak, but instead bites her lip in anger and frustration.
So, doctor, you tell me, what do you want to do?
I apologize, Your Honor. I don't understand.
Let's see. Now, I can annul this marriage and give you another shot at finding something better, although I would caution you against marrying outside of your own race.
No, Your Honor. She has her flaws and a lot to learn, but she is my wife and I do care for her. I never let her go. Not until death do us part, right?
Doctor, you ought to be commended for your loyalty and your faithfulness to your vows as a husband. It is most noble.
I thought the United States was a country of laws. That is, citizens have rights.
The United States does have laws, but one law it doesn't have is one that perverts a strong husband from setting a wild wife straight. And as a greaser, you should already know that. I decided what's right. You have.
Fine. Do not grant me a divorce. It doesn't change a thing. I'm done. You hear that? I'm done. You can keep the house. You can keep all the dresses and things. I'm taking my children and we are going.
Try it, bitch, and I'll kill you.
Relax, doctor. She will not be doing one thing.
Do you plan to stop me, Quest?
I won't, but the sheriff here will, and it's definitely sure as hell will.
For what reason?
Kidnapping of this man's children.
No, you cannot.
Lady, lady, I am the judge, and I say the kids belong to the father. And if you don't abide by that and make good on the threats, you just made then, it's kidnapping and with an added charge, prostitution.
Prostitution?
How else is this woman like you going to support herself without a husband?
How dare you?
All right, enough. I've had enough. I've entertained this drama for far too long already. Go on, get on out of here and mind your kids and your home, and maybe your husband won't have to discipline you so much.
You bastard! I swear before God in heaven that your justice will be served today. I curse you. I curse all of you, goddamn bastards. Before you more, all your cold hearts shall be stopped, and may you wait drowning in the burning lake of hell.
Ms. Lopez smacks Dr. Saybrook across the face and runs out of the room. Ms. Lopez exits. The deputy gets up to chase after her, but Sheriff Banks stops him.
Let her go. If her husband will still have her even after that, there's no use in us trying.
I would. She's a feisty creature, but I'll repay it tenfold when I return home.
About that, I'm going to ask that you remain here in custody of the sheriff until tomorrow.
Excuse me, Your Honor. But what?
Well, you know that there chili pepper wife of yours needs some time to cool off.
Your Honor, I can cool her off. I invited Jeff that cooling her off.
Well, then that's just for your safety then.
My safety? Your Honor, she is nothing but a fragile thing. I fear her strike as much as I fear the curse of hers.
The hills around this town are teeming with the Mexican bandits.
Well, what's that got to do with me?
Now, listen up here. When did one of them Mexican bandits caught wind of her little story? There's greaser bandits that'll take one look at what you've done to her face and they'll shoot you.
Never thought of it like that, Your Honor. But in the jail?
I'm sure the sheriff here can make the cell nice and comfortable.
Of course we can. Don't you worry about it. We'll fix your lives bed. I got meal brought to you. It doesn't be the only one I'm here. Think of it as a vacation.
Vacation?
Deputy, why don't you ask for the doctor here? Snap me to his chin.
Deputy Phillips nods his head, gets up, and starts to lead Dr. Saybrook out.
Deputy, hold up. Please get the good doctor here a bottle of whiskey for his trouble. You can have that charged to the state.
Your Honor, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, and Deputy, you can unshackle the doctor. He's not in any kind of trouble.
Deputy Phillips nods his head, pulls a set of keys from his belt, and unshackles Dr. Saybrook.
Please, Your Honor, stop by the jailhouse before you leave, and I will give you a physical health inspection. No charge, not now, not ever.
Judge Washington smiles and waves them off. The deputy escorts the doctor out of the room. They exit.
Sheriff.
Yes, Judge?
Are you familiar with Mexican bandits in the area?
I try to be, but you can never be so sure with their kind. Always coming in and out of Mexico.
Have you ever heard of that Mexican woman bandit?
Sheriff Banks starts laughing.
Sheriff, I'm serious.
You can't be. That has to be the most wild thing I ever heard.
This morning, I had a man in here practically screaming about one.
I haven't heard of those drums turning mad before.
I thought so too.
Who would our mysterious Mexican bandit be? Miss Lopez. Or over there. Just look at her, Judge. Frankly, stupid. The poor reason. And you expect her to come some kind of man?
Josefa, feeling their eyes on her and getting their attention, accidentally drops a logbook and her pen, having to get out of her seat to pick it all up. Judge Washington glances at Josefa and returns his attention to his papers, giving a light chuckle as if he is now in on the joke.
I see your point.
Act 1, Scene 5. Judge Washington is reading a document on his desk and sitting in the corner. Josefa is scribbling in the margins of the court logbook. Deputy Phillips enters, leading Mr. Tate and Alejandro. Both men are cuffed, but Alejandro also has a speech shackle. They are left standing side by side before Judge Washington. Deputy Phillips takes position to the right of Judge Washington, angled in between the judge and Mr. Tate and Alejandro.
Deputy, I'm busy.
Not too busy for this, I reckon.
Why? What do these two do?
Couple of sodomites.
Is that so?
Josefa starts to write in the logbook.
No, sir. That's a disgusting lie.
Maybe. Deputy, what evidence do you have about
Oh, Miss Karen says she caught them in sin. She called me.
Continue. What did you find?
Them two in the sack.
Well, then, I'll charge them each with 1 count of sodomy, lewdness, and gross deviancy.
Wait, Your Honor. You got it wrong.
Are you calling the deputy here a liar?
Yes. I mean, no. Not a liar, Your Honor. He just didn't see it the way he saw it.
Well, then explain.
This ungodly savage forced himself on me.
What?
Quiet. Quiet. Go on, Mr.
That's Mr. Tate. He runs a small store.
Jonathan Tate, Your Honor. I specialize in dry goods. I also operate a small tannery.
Let me ask you. Do you allow yourself to be taken by other men?
No, never. I swear to God Almighty, Your Honor.
Don't bring God into this. Just tell me the truth.
John, what are you doing?
Didn't the judge tell you to shut up?
I hired this fiend 6 months ago to assist me around the shop. He was always so kind and helpful. How could I have known of his perversions?
Really, John?
You keep interrupting. You have something to say?
Your Honor, don't listen to him. He's a liar. All preachers are liars.
That may be true, but I hear this one man's fib.
I met John last year in San Diego. He had abandoned his wife back east and talked my ear off the night I met him. His dreams, his plans, he bared it all.
Greaser lies. Greaser lies.
It's not a lie, you damn coward. You've been caught. It's done.
We? We? There is no we, Your Honor. You must understand, there has never been a we between me and this man.
I thought there was more than that. You told me there was more than that. Hell, you invited me to this cheap town.
Keep talking about this cheap town. That way, Greaser. And I'll show you what we do to men like you.
Did you invite him to this town?
Your Honor, I did not meet this despicable person until he came waltzing into my shop like the devil himself.
He wrote to me for months. He sent me letter after letter, begging me to come.
I begged? I never begged a man for a thing in my life. All I did was give this deviant a job.
A job? What happened to the shop being ours? The promises you made?
I promised you nothing.
Damn it! I'm gonna have order in this court.
I am so sorry, Your Honor. Please forgive me.
Hey, Greaser. Don't you got something to say to the judge?
I apologize, Wes.
Sure doesn't sound like it, boy.
How would you sound if someone you love betrayed you?
I don't want to hear about your sick love. This court is not interested in any of that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But the court is interested in the situation the deputy caught you two in. As an official representative of the law, it is my duty to uphold moral integrity. even in a place as immoral as this.
Your deputy saw love, even if it now appears to be one-sided.
I saw dirty, rotten sodomy.
Yes, and you stayed and watched long enough to get a good look, didn't you?
Deputy Phillips lunges and punches Alejandro in the chest, making Alejandro kneel but not fall.
Asshole! Is that what you have to do to sneak a touch?
Deputy Phillips starts to beat on Alejandro, clubbing his back and striking at his sides. Alejandro pressing his shackled hands to his chest and hunching over for protection. Judge Washington watches for a few moments.
Okay, that'll do it.
Deputy Phillips doesn't stop. Alejandro refuses to fall or even drop to his knees. Standing in defiance only further infuriates the deputy.
I'm telling you, deputy, that is enough.
Deputy Phillips, still enraged, stops the beating, gives Alejandro one last shove, then storms out of the courtroom. Phillips exits.
See, Your Honor, see what kind of man this is?
I do think I've seen enough.
For what?
Another disrespectful outburst out of you, and I'll call the deputy back in and let him finish off what he started.
So I'm sure he'd like that.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
It's a little late to be jealous, John.
Jealous? How dare you?
Mr. Tate lunges at Alejandro, but Alejandro sidesteps him, causing him to fall.
Oh, you better watch it, John. Only like this because you're here. If it was just us, he would never.
What?
Because he knows I'd kick his ass.
Oh, no. No dirty pervert is going to be talking tough to me.
Mr. Tate, now back on his feet, motions to attack Alejandro again.
You don't have to worry, John. For this, I won't kick your ass. No. If this goes the way I worry it will, I'll take these hands that used to cuddle and caress you and wrap them around your pencil neck, squeeze the breath out of you.
Your Honor, did you hear that? He just threatened my life in a courtroom.
Relax. Relax, Mr. Tate. The boy's not making it out.
Your Honor, I apologize. You must understand the pain of just a broken heart can lead to madness.
No. Your madness started before you got here. The only question left is whether or not Mr. Tate here shares that same madness.
Excuse me.
It is evident that this man here was engaged in some form of perverted behavior. The question is, was it forced, as you say, or was it mutual?
Which time?
Your Honor, please.
This is going nowhere. And it's starting to make me uncomfortable to no end. Mr. Tate, you are a business owner with plans to set roots in this town.
What does that have to do with anything?
Shut up. Your time will come. Mr. Tate, if you please.
Why, yes. I own my shop and the land it sits on. I rent a room, but in time I hope to have a modest home built.
You are to settle down with a woman and start a family.
Alejandro starts to laugh.
Ignore that, greaser. Mr. Tate, I'm not making a joke. When I return in 6 to 8 months' time, I expect to meet your wife and place my hand upon her swollen belly. Am I clear?
Yes. Don't you worry, Your Honor. I'll meet myself a pretty gal, and
a pretty white Christian gal. You have enough mixed breeds devoted to Roman popery at this as it is.
Wes, I doubt that. Not just the part about a gal, because if you haven't noticed, he has a thing for greasers like me.
Mr. Tate, I'll be very disappointed if I see you in my courtroom again with another Mexican boy.
Mr. Tate nods his head nervously. Alejandro can't stand to look at him anymore.
On your word, I'm going to ask you one last question, and I expect you to answer it right. Did this man,
Alejandro Martinez,
did Mr. Martinez force himself upon you and attempt to commit acts of unchristian sodomy against you?
John, Don't. Please. They'll hang me.
He did, Your Honor. He deceived me with his wickedness, trapped me with my own goodwill, and then tried to
Try to what?
sodomize me.
You fuck!
Alejandro dashes behind Mr. Tate. Tripping in the process, he has enough time to bring the chain between his cuffs over around Mr. Tate's neck. Falling, Alejandro takes Mr. Tate down with him, pulling him to a rear naked choke using his cuffs.
By God, stop this at once.
Judge Washington comes running around from his desk. He takes up his cane and raises it to strike, but stops it when he realizes he can't hit Alejandro without also hitting Mr. Tate.
So, Precisa, go, hurry now. Hurry, go get the sheriff and his deputy. Hurry.
Josefa, still seated in the corner, watching everything, feeling the Judge Washington's attention centered on her, drops her pen in feigned nervousness and lets the logbook slip out of her hands to the floor by her feet. Josefa pretends to act as if she is petrified, too frightened to move.
Dumb greaser.
Judge Washington contemplates trying to break them up, but does nothing. Giving up, he marches out of the courtroom.
Deputy, sheriff, where the hell are you?
Act 1, Scene 6. Judge Washington is sitting back at his desk. He has a bottle of whiskey out, and in his hand is a partly filled glass. Josefa is slouching in her chair with her eyes closed, pretending to be asleep. The logbook is leaning against her seat, and her pen is tucked in her ear. Sheriff Banks enters the room. His head is low, and he carries his hat in his hand. His graying hair is showing.
Mr. Tate. That's too bad.
You just couldn't get that Bishop Sands out of the farm. Disconnect.
Did you wish I let you shoot him?
No. We wouldn't have. No, we wouldn't gonna have each other Bishop. Not without risking hitting Mr. Tate. By accident. A lot of good did him.
Do you have any family?
Not in town. His own family, his own friends, was a greaser than him. And piece it up like that too.
But prayer most high.
Just what we said.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I just signed the death warrant for Mr. Martinez, sentencing him for the crimes of murder and incitement. He will not cheat the hangman.
Only the lynch mob.
Sheriff, as American men of the white race, we are civilized people of law and order. I will not allow a lynch mob to go parading around on my watch, no matter how much I may agree with their intentions.
I suppose you're right. You know, Judge, we don't have the luxury of a man before like you saw all the time. When you're gone, I'm the only court in this town.
Then save your lynch mob for them.
Sheriff Banks smiles, nods his head, and places his hat back on his head, tipping at the judge before letting it rest.
Hey, sure. So where did you put Mr. Martinez?
Without that grease up.
Not with the good doctor, I hope.
No. We promised Dr. Saybrook a couple of years. He's in another cell with no lock. In the best day we got.
In the whiskey?
Put him right to sleep.
After an exciting day like this, that is a relief to hear.
We'll keep him for the night, and maybe the next day. He shouldn't mind. After that drink loosened him up, I never he got no sport. Think about the wildest, that crazy curse of hers.
Superstition is not becoming. It goes against Christ and the common sense of our republic.
People are prone to such things that witches, angels, and trash lights, all going for stuff like that.
Pity. Somebody ought to erect a decent school and a strong church.
We have a church. Can't say how strong it is, though.
Well, strengthen it. Strengthen it. And I apologize, Sheriff, but you'll have to excuse me.
Another case?
Last one for the day.
Sure. You don't need my assistance?
Deputy Phillips will be just fine when he is back.
It'll be a little while. We received a telegram that some Yankee family is going to be passing through looking for wild things. So I was just about to send people to let you know who's allowed around here and your receivers.
You're a son of the South, aren't you, Sheriff?
I am. Can't wait just after that war.
So I trust you will have no problem reminding these troopers that they have a tax to pay.
Tax to pay?
A glory tax. If some green commander wants to make a name for himself hunting savages in my judicial territory, then he needs to pay his taxes.
Judge, those listeners don't understand a thing like that. He'll write some sort of congressman and tell you on.
He can tell whoever he damn likes. I've got my own friends back east and in Congress. We'll call it a permit. That's all, a permit, and every permit comes with a fee.
The sheriff and judge are interrupted by a knock at the door.
That's my last case.
And I'll leave you to it.
Sheriff Banks starts to walk out, but Judge Washington stops him.
Sheriff, tell the deputy to let the commander of those troopers know that before he goes back to his camp or wherever his bunch are squatting for the night, that he is to send payment. I will not be leaving tomorrow empty-handed.
Sheriff Banks laughs, nods his head, and tips his hat, and exits. Act 1, Scene 7. Judge Washington is sitting at his desk. In front of him, to his right, is Mr. Wazir and his lawyer, Mr. Leonard. To his left is a group of miners. They are all people of color, predominantly Latino. Among the miners is Santana. Standing between them and the desk of Judge Washington is Rivera. Both groups are talking softly amongst themselves. Josefa has her logbook open and has her face shielded by it. Every so often, she peers over at the miners, especially Rivera.
Gentlemen, I've been in this hot room all day and I wanted to be out before sundown. Now that these hopes are lost, I would like to at least leave this room as soon as possible. So if you all are done with your chat, who will be going first?
The miners all take seats along the left side of the room. Mr. Rossier and Mr. Bernard stand before Judge Washington, edged to the right, with Rivera standing edged to the left. Rivera and Leonard both open their mouths to answer Judge Washington, but he interrupts them.
I just wanted to be said that just because your miners don't see a lawman in this courtroom, it doesn't mean that you are beyond his justice or his force. Though the sheriff and his deputy are away on business, know that they can be sent for, and if they were to find out that these good workers of this town did not behave as expected, I most surely would tell them the free rein to punish you as they see fit. That said, please, who is first?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Rivera and Leonard stop and look angrily at one another. Josefa starts writing in the logbook.
Perhaps some civility is required. May both of you state your name and parties you represent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Leonard gives Rivera a smug expression and then speaks over him.
Your Honor, my name is Arthur S. Leonard, attorney at law, and I represent Mr. Amos Rosaire of the Rosaire Mining Corporation.
And what about you? You can't be a lawyer.
My name is Adon Rivera, and I'm an organizer.
Well, that surely doesn't sound like a lawyer.
I am not a lawyer, but I am educated, having received my degree in sociology from the University of Southern California.
Sociology?
The study of human society. My research is on oppressive labor and its impact in the Mexican and Mexican-American community.
I just don't believe.
Believe in what, Your Honor?
Whatever made up degree you just bullshitted me with.
Your Honor, I assure you that sociology is indeed an academic field. It's just you.
As well as not respected. And that school, Southern California, sounds like a lot like a Tijuana. Is that what it is? Are you some damn Mexican certificano?
USC is a relatively new university, Your Honor. It's in Los Angeles.
LA. I didn't know they let Mexicans go to school that far in LA. Probably some phony school teaching phony degree. Fine, what do you and your people want? And be quick about it, because you all smell.
I am here to file a formal complaint against Mr. Rosier and his mining corporation on behalf of the Latin American Mutual Aid Society.
Mutual Aid Society? That's pretty highfalutin. Is that some uppity greaser city thing?
It's an organization of subversion and crime, Your Honor. That takes the good, well-meaning Mexicans and turns them into godless agitators.
Is that what you are, Mr. Rivera? Are you some agitator stirring up all these other greasers?
Your Honor, do not let this man mislead you. Mutual aid societies are neither subversive nor criminal. They are organizations, but ones that promote love and compassion for one's neighbor and helping one another through the trying times. This system forces us to endure.
This system?
See, Your Honor, there it is, that Latin Americanism. The Spanish and Catholics reek of it, as you can see.
Yeah, I've heard.
Please, Your Honor, do not let this man dissuade you from seeing the truth of why we are here.
You know, your words around sound more like lies. I'll humor you, boy. What's the truth?
Rosier and his company work their miners as slaves, but don't listen to me. There are miners who have practically grown up in those pits that can tell you much better than I, Mr. Delgado.
Your Honor,
Mr. Delgado gets up from his seat, helped by Santana at his side. Standing, he makes his way to the center of the room, taking his place on the left side before Judge Washington, next to Rivera.
Pues, I've been working at the mines for 27 years. 19 since young Rosier took over from his father. The original patron who opened the mine almost 30 years ago.
And this court does not have time for some damn history lesson.
4 of my compañeros were killed in a so-called accident last month. That's not history, Wes.
What's this about an accident?
He's referring to the mine shaft collapse on the 11th of June that took the lives of workers Aguilar, Fernandez, Araujo, and Villa.
a tragic accident. The whole company grieves still for the families.
It's not an accident. When he told you it was unsafe and you did nothing to prevent it. Aguilar, he saw that the shaft was unstable. He had refused, but you made them all go down, or else you throw out their families.
The mine owns and operates a small slum nearby to house its workers and their families. How dare you call it a slum?
The village of Rosario is a community made up of hard-working individuals. The company is proud to offer housing and other amenities to its workers.
The price of our lives.
It was just a tragic accident.
What about Stavros? He coughed out his lungs in the darkness of those mines and died before we could even get him back up to the sun.
Work in the mines makes for a rough life. All miners should know that.
He was 16. You saw he was fresh and eager, man, and you worked him to death.
I worked that boy just the same as all my work.
With no water and no breaks.
He didn't even make enough to afford his own burial.
So is that what this is all about? Pay.
Is it oats? Was there lot?
No. Rosier does pay poverty wages, but this is about justice. If the Latin American Mutual Aid Society didn't step in and help the family of the young Mr. Stavros or the families of the 4 workers lost in the accident, then who?
See, Your Honor, that's exactly where the Damn mutual aid societies squeeze themselves in. They take the unfortunate circumstances of honest American work and twist it for their own anarchistic aims.
Ah, yeah, I can see that. So, Mr. Rosier, Mr. Lanark, what do you want to be done?
We ask that, Your Honor, please grant an injunction against the so-called Latin American Mutual Aid Society, one that would forbid them from meeting or associating with one another.
You seek to deal our people a death blow.
Silence. Silence now, huh? I will not tolerate any unruly behavior in my court. An injunction, well, you know, it sounds reasonable.
But, Your Honor, please, what of our complaints?
What of your complaint? Workers complain all the time.
The conditions, Your Honor. Men have died.
As Mr. Rosier said, mining is a particularly dangerous form of labor. If you and your people are too weak-willed and delicate for such labor, then perhaps maybe they should quit.
Don't. Your Honor, you're going to force us to strike.
I know. Which is why I'm granting Mr. Rosier and his lawyer, Mr. Lanark, the injunction they have asked for.
An uproar is heard among the miners. They all get up from their seats and stand, waiting to be antagonized further.
Order, quiet, I said, quiet. This injunction, the injunction will go into effect the moment you leave this courtroom. If either of you are seen together under the banner of mutual aid or anything of that sort, with the like, then you will have the sheriff to deal with and then be brought before this court on charges.
Rivera talks to Judge Washington, but looks past him. He stops writing to lock eyes with him.
You're going to regret this, Judge. We could have helped you, but now we'll leave you to your fate.
Rivera takes off his bandana and ties it around his forehead as if he is ready for war.
Strike! Strike! Strike!
Mr. Delgado's strike chant is echoed by Santana and the other miners, who step into the center of the room, seemingly flooding it, all with their fists raised.
Damn it, you get these damn greasers out of here before I send it for the sheriff and his deputy.
Rosier, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
Rivera leads the miners outside of the courthouse, marching out single file, chanting, fists raised and stomping their feet.
I can call the sheriff to come in and get them out now.
Yeah, that would be not necessary. We anticipate that injunction steering them up.
Anticipated nothing. I haven't written up that injunction yet.
I apologize, Mr. Lamar. Please.
Mr. Lanark pulls from his jacket a sack of heavy gold coins and leaves it on the judge's desk. Judge Washington picks it up and palms it as if he could tell how much it is just by the weight and sound of the coinage inside.
Excellent. Excellent. I should write up that court order this evening and have it sent you tomorrow before I leave, unless you'd like to wait in town for it.
Actually, I'm afraid we must.
May I ask why?
As soon as you have finished preparing the document, I'll be taking an extended trip to Cuba.
A small vacation until all this greaser mess with the mine cools off.
Yes, I agree that would be best.
We'll hire a carriage and have it wait to that on the slopes.
In case things with the miners should suddenly go south.
That's why. But I highly doubt it, gentlemen. The U.S. Cavalry is camped somewhere nearby dealing with some Indian threat or another.
Or a reason to leave. Savages are back in business.
Then I will not make you wait any longer. I'll get to work on this injunction at once.
I'm forever grateful, Judge. Statue of the Narrow District Court personally recommended that I send for you. Said you take care of all this, and I'll most relieve that from my power.
Judge Thatcher is hard and moral, and a friend. And at their recommendations, you are now also a friend.
Well, perhaps I can offer you a ride out of this town when you're finished with the documents.
I just said I just may take you up on that now, gentlemen. Injunctions are already clearly written. Really right.
Of course, excuse us.
Mr. Rozier taps Mr. Leonard, who nods his head and pulls out a stack of paper money and leaves it on the judge's desk.
A token of appreciation for your ace and enthusiasm.
Judge Washington takes the money in hand and flips through it, half to flash its worth and half to authenticate it. He then sets it back down on the desk and reaches over to shake both Mr. Rozier and Mr. Leonard's hand. After shaking Mr. Rozier and Mr. Leonard exits. Judge Washington, when the door closes behind him, takes out the bottle of whiskey and pours himself another, then sips it.
Pity. I had hoped to leave this room after that pack of mine, as this room smells even worse. Musk, sweat, and odor of the body. And you're not half the sight I thought you'd be, bumbling little fool you are. Put that book down and go on and fetch my dinner. I have to dine here as I walk.
Josefa lets the logbook fall out of her hand and to the floor, making a thud. Then, in annoyance, she briskly gets up and charges out of the room. Josefa exits.
Damn ungrateful, recent whore. And ain't going to like it when I take my dessert.
Judge Washington takes another sip of the whiskey, sets it down, and takes out paper and starts writing with his pen. Act 2, Scene 1. Judge Washington is eating his dinner, a steak and baked potato. The barely started injunction is still on his desk. Josefa is standing at the side of Judge Washington's desk, like a servant waiting for orders. She's trying not to scowl. There is a knock on the door. Judge Washington stops eating and looks to Josefa before looking suspiciously at the door.
Who is it?
The knocking continues.
I said, who is it?
The knocking stops.
The United States Army.
Oh, thank God. Come on in, troopers.
The door opens and enters Corporal Frencher, followed by Lieutenant Hopkins. Corporal Frencher is carrying a Springfield trapdoor rifle. Lieutenant Hopkins has a pistol at his side. Josefa, seeing the troopers, rushes forward, practically leaning on top of Judge Washington's head to his plate. Taking it, she makes sure to pick up his sword and especially his knife. With them in hand, she starts to walk away, avoiding eye contact with the troopers as best as she could, until the lieutenant forces them to bump shoulders with each other, giving him a quick look at her face. Rushing past him, Josefa hurries out the door. Josefa exits. Lieutenant Hopkins and Corporal Frencher take position standing before Judge Washington. Corporal Frencher, as the lieutenant's escort, stands just behind him and off slightly to the side.
I apologize for her. I can't remember her name, but she's as slow and as clumsy as any greaser around.
That big old belly doesn't help.
She hasn't been in your army long?
Her? Lord, no. I've only been forced to tolerate her this past day.
So you've not seen her before?
Did you come here to inquire about the servant girl?
No. My apologies. She had a big place. It's all.
Trooper, you traverse this territory long enough and them damn greasy faces start to become looking familiar.
That must be it. Where are my manners? Back home, mother would live. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm First Lieutenant Charles Hopkins, the 9th Cavalry.
The Iron Knight.
That is Corporal French.
I take it you troopers are here about business with savages?
It was a sexual attack. The local Indians stuck to her and she got trouble. We have to stop them.
Well, cheers to you both.
Judge Washington raises his glass to them.
Those Indians, they were the Apaches, right? Taking up residence in them there hills?
Yes. We have resources. Yes. We have received reports of their band, attacking travelers, shooting horrendous acts, vile creatures. They saw us and immediately fled. The hills below we managed to catch them, held up in some pavilion. Glad to report that those Apaches won't trouble do any more with good people of this town any longer.
Except, them damn hills were cleared of Apaches over a year ago.
Well, like I said, we did not find them in the hills.
There was some Navajo, who were just resettled near here. I think I even heard about them making a village for themselves out in some little valley, or was it a gully? No, but well, they couldn't have been the ones you attacked. They were protected by treaties. Legally protected by a treaty signed by their head man and the several American officials, myself included.
You were not made aware of this treaty.
Did you ask if they had one before you slaughtered them?
In a battle, there's always the most confusion, and
Yes. Much confusion. Thank the Lord that you have this.
Judge Washington pulled up a signed piece of paper.
that is,
That's your warning to arrest a pair of Navajo renegades that broke the terms of the treaty and attacked white settlers.
yes, for once, of course.
It really is such a pity that their tribe wasn't willing to give up those two, forcing you to enter their village to search for them. Damn it, a search that they resisted, said resulting in its destruction.
It was not how we like it to go.
I understand, Lieutenant. No one wants to be responsible for a massacre. But what are you troopers to do when them damn Indians, high on that ghost dance, turned hostile? You and your fellow troopers, in my eyes, and the eyes of the law, had no other option than to defend yourself.
It's a shame, but it has to be done.
That's why I signed the warrant. And for your convenience, dated a week prior.
You have forever you did.
Not forever, just until you make payment.
Payment? Yes, of course. Oh, please go and get the good judge's payment.
Corporal Frencher smiles and exits the room. When he returns, he is leading Beaven, bound at her hands and gagged.
My commander was short of cash, but after rounding up the supplies, he found some that the doctor might find elsewhere in Joe.
Indeed. She is quite the beauty.
Does she share our debt?
Oh, yes,
she definitely does.
Judge Washington gets up from his desk and walks over to Beaven, taking the warrant with him. He shoves it into the chest of Lieutenant Hopkins without looking, then starts to reach for the gag on Beaven's mouth.
I wouldn't unwrap herself, so she got a 10.
Is that so?
Lieutenant Hopkins folds the warrant and puts it in his jacket pocket.
Come on. The corporal now must be gone. We have orders to return.
Yes, you can go.
Lieutenant Hopkins and Corporal Frencher start to exit.
Lieutenant, one last thing.
Yes, you want?
Tell your commander, that's a pretty squaw will do just for once. But next time he wants to run down savages, he has to pay some, just like the rest, in gold.
Lieutenant Hopkins smiles, nods his head, and exits the courtroom. Act 2, Scene 2. Lieutenant Hopkins and Corporal Frencher enter and walk. The town around them sparsely populated.
I was hurt.
Are you sure, Lieutenant?
There can't be two of them.
What are you gonna do, sir?
Well, I'll bring a lot of flames to the night if you bring her in.
It'll make the commander real happy.
A happy commander means a dangerous deal for me.
Sure would, sir.
Oh, bringing her in would elevate me to the rank of warrant officer, wouldn't it?
So who grabs her? Me or you, sir?
Who did it? No one just grabbed her. We're gonna need the shoes on the furnace.
Good thing you had them hold up just outside of town, sir.
You have to saddle up and get them at once. However, she may be honest.
Where are you going to be, sir?
I'll be poking around the Spanish part of town. See, any of them greasy, know where she might be hiding.
You don't want to just go over to the courthouse and take her right in front of the judge?
No, she'd be expecting it. To take it without getting ourselves killed, we have to do something almost right.
I see. like tactics, sir.
Now you're thinking like your warrant officers, right? You got to wait until she goes home from whatever Mexican she was on right. And then once she sleeps, you let her have it until she can't hardly stand a while.
Then hog tie her right back to the commander.
Check.
Act 2, Scene 3. Corporal Fencher enters the town stable and is shocked to find his and the lieutenant's horses missing.
Now where in the hell?
Corporal Fencher doesn't see the steak knife stabbing down at him from behind. Taken by surprise, he tries to run, but is overtaken by the multiple stabs in the back by Joseph. Act 2, Scene 4. The town's small barrio, just a street no bigger than an alleyway. Fandango music can be heard from the nearby cantina, and Casa are busy coming and going, either home for the day or out for the night. Lieutenant Hopkins is asking random Mexicans or Mexican Americans if they have seen Josefa. They all ignore him. Patricia Obregon and the Sons of the Don can be seen eyeing him from afar. Lieutenant Hopkins runs to Doña Sofia, who's out with a friend, and she's ignoring him and trying to avoid him as she walks past.
Excuse me. Senora, have you seen a young visitor girl? I'm sorry, Mexican. She's about this tall. It looks like she's praying.
Lieutenant Hopkins, standing in Doña Sofia's way, places his hand in the air for height and then places his hand on his belly for pregnancy. No, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you sure? She was working with the judge at the courthouse.
No, I'm sorry.
What about your friend over there?
She doesn't. I'm sorry, I have to go.
You sure?
Why don't you leave her alone, Gringo?
Doña Sofia pushes past Lieutenant Hopkins and links hands with a friend. Together they exit, leaving him with Patricia Obregon and his brothers.
Now you just watch your step around me, Lisa.
You know where you are?
America.
Yeah, sure.
Patricia Obregon and her brothers walk off. As Patricia passes, she brushes her shoulder against the lieutenant, nearly making him fall over. By the time Lieutenant Hopkins regains his footings, they are already walking away, and he is alone. A lone rifle sticks out, held by Josefa, and fires, killing Lieutenant Hopkins instantly. Doña Sofia and Patricia look back concerned, but then turn away, leave as if nothing happened. Act 2, Scene 5. Outside of the sheriff's station. The sound of the gunshot echoes through the night. Moments later, Sheriff Banks and Deputy Phillips enter. The sheriff is holding a double-barrel shotgun, and the deputy has his pistol drawn.
I think it came from that way.
She, don't tell me you got your ass over there.
Deputy Phillips and Sheriff Banks run off in the direction of the gunshot. They exit. A few moments pass, and Josefa, making sure they're gone, enters the jailhouse. Josefa exits. Act 2, Scene 6. Sheriff's Station. The sheriff's station is no more than a small central room with 3 adjacent cells behind it, like tiny closets. At the center of the station is the sheriff's desk, and to the left is a small number of seats for waiting. To the right is a cabinet that holds the town's guns and ammo. Dr. Saybrook is in the cell directly behind the sheriff's desk, sitting up in his bed, having been awakened by the gunshot that killed Lieutenant Hopkins. The cell to his right is empty, but to his left is Alejandro. Alejandro has his hands on the bars, doing his best to figure out what's going on outside.
Is it the Indians?
Hope so.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I would.
Godless. Just godless.
Don't talk to me about God, Saybrook. I know your wife.
The hell is that supposed to mean?
I know the kind of man you are.
Yeah, well, the deputy told me what kind of man you are. Alejandro or Alejandra?
At least when I love somebody, I don't put my hands on them.
Because you're not about to hang for choking poor Mr. Tate to death.
What do you know?
Josefa enters, closing the door softly behind her. She is carrying the Corporal's Springfield rifle, pressing it against her side. She conceals it from Dr. Saybrook and Alejandro, Progreso also obscuring her face.
Oh, thank God, deputy.
That's not the deputy, pendejo.
Oh, hey, what are you doing here, girl? Did the good judge send you?
Alejandro relaxes, recognizing Josefa by the investment.
No gringo judge sent her here.
Josefa pivots to expose the corporal's rifle at her side.
Now, what the hell you got a thing like that for?
You'll see.
Josefa pulls back her rebozo and reveals her smiling face at them and starts looking around the room for ammo for the rifle.
You know something, don't you?
And I know a lot of things, Doctor.
Guess get to tell me, Greaser.
Dr. Saybrook closes his cell door and backs away as Josefa's search brings her closer to his cell when she rounds the desk to go for the gun cabinet.
I don't know. Seems you're going to find out soon enough.
Don't give me that. What's wrong with this damn girl? Hey, you. What are you looking for?
Josefa opens all the cabinet drawers, pulling them all the way out until they hit the floor with a thud. Scanning them, it isn't until the last one that she finds the boxes of ammo for the rifle. Picking up one, she takes it over to the sheriff's desk, rips it open, and spills out the bullets.
Hey, what the hell is this? What are you doing with that?
Alejandro starts to laugh. Josefa takes a bullet and loads the rifle.
What's wrong with you? Look here, you little greaser. Don't you dare point that damn thing at me. Do you know what this town will do to you?
Josefa smiles and raises the rifle at Dr. Saybrook. She levels it from the hip in his direction.
What is this? No, don't do that. Point it at him, not me. He's a degenerate. I'm just a humble doctor. I help people, your people. Look, you're pregnant, aren't you? I can deliver your baby for free. My pleasure, okay?
Oh, doctor, you poor man. You poor, weak, and pitiful man.
Weak?
Josefa cocks the rifle.
Yeah, I'm weak. I'm pitiful. I'm everything. Just please, don't.
Doctor, can I ask you a question?
Yes. Well, what kind of question?
The kind of question will you answer if I put this rifle down and you don't pull the trigger?
Yes, of course. Whatever you like. Ask and I shall answer.
That face you're making right now, the one just begging for me to stop. Did your wife make it before you do that played at her?
What?
Josefa pulls the trigger. The rifle goes off and shoots Dr. Saybrook through the bars of the cell. His body goes flying backwards, bouncing off the back wall, falling face forward dead. Josefa spits in disgust, and Alejandro starts clapping softly.
I've been disappointed many times today, even by the man I love. But you, Josefa, you didn't let me down.
Josefa lowers the gun and walks over to where the keys are found.
So you heard of me.
Josefa, with the spare pair of keys, turns to face Alejandro in his cell.
Relax. The gringos don't know a thing. They all think you're made up.
But you have heard of me before.
Josefa stops in front of Alejandro's cell. She is playing with the keys, pretending to be looking for the right one.
Yes, I did. How can I not? And the barrios, they whisper your name behind the gringos' backs.
Josefa finds the key and puts it in the lock of the cell door, but doesn't open it just yet.
And what do they whisper?
That you're a Chicana who takes no shit.
Firme.
Josefa turns the key and opens the cell door. Act 2, Scene 7. The town is empty. The gunshots have scared the townspeople off the streets. Josefa and Alejandro enter and walk. Josefa stops and turns to Alejandro.
You have to get going.
I took this leaflet from the sheriff's. It's a Henry. It's good. I can help you.
No. Use that weapon to protect your own life. Now go. You must leave. If you run, there's still a chance of getting out of this alive.
I cannot do that. Josefa, you saved my life. I am in your debt.
You don't owe me a damn thing. Now go. The Gringo Law will have heard the shot that killed the doctor, and we'll go see that you're gone.
But what about you?
I have a judge to see.
Alejandro exits. Rivera enters, along with Santana and Delgado and the other minors. They walk past her on their way to the sheriff's station.
Hey, you ain't supposed to be on the streets together like that.
You're not supposed to be real.
Exchanging a smile, Josefa and Rivera pass one another. They exit on opposite sides of the stage. Act 3, Scene 1. Courtroom. Judge Washington is sitting at his desk, drinking from the bottle of whiskey. He is glaring at Vive, who is standing still, bound and cursing at him with her gag.
Do you think that's your people's fault? Do you think that's them coming to save you? It doesn't pain me to tell you that they're not. Your people, or what's left of your people, are scurrying down Mexico with their tails between their legs. Nobody's coming for you, girl. You best accept that now.
Josefa enters, running in. She has a panicked look on her face, and she has her hands on her belly.
Sorpresita, where have you been? No, forget it. That doesn't matter now. What's happening out there? Is it them there savages?
Josefa shakes her head, stumbling towards the desk, placing both hands on it to keep herself standing.
Thank God. Wait, Sorpresita, what's wrong? Is it time?
Josefa nods her head, stumbling backwards from the desk and falling to her knees with her hands on her belly. Judge Washington gets up from his desk and starts to make his way over to her, but taking one look at her in anguish, he stops and shakes his head. Stepping towards the door, he stops himself and then looks urgently back to Josefa.
Wait, is there trouble out there? Is there trouble out there still?
Josefa, on her knees, nods her head, before hunching over and starting to wail in agony.
Damn! All that racket will bring down upon me whatever evil has befallen this town. You, squaw, can you deliver a child?
Viva nods her head. Judge Washington looks back and forth between Josefa and Viva, then reluctantly unties Viva before stepping away from her to watch the scene from a safe distance. Untied, Viva first rubs her wounded wrist and cautiously steps over to the agonizing Josefa.
Don't just stand there, squaw. Do something.
Quiet, white devil.
White devil? How dare you?
I said quiet. Something isn't right.
You think I care if something ain't right with the birth of some little greaser baby? Just shut up, brown ass. Just shut up her brown ass before it gets killed.
Josefa suddenly stops wailing and starts laughing softly, as she reaches beneath her blouse and pulls from beneath it a rolled up towel, laughing louder as she does it.
What the hell is...
Unable to control himself, Judge Washington walks over to Josefa with reluctant and horrified interest to see what was happening. In doing so, he places himself now just in front of Viva.
I told you, devil, that something wasn't right.
Now quit this! Quit this now! I meant it! Stop this at once! Squaw, you go over there, stop her, whatever she's doing.
Josefa unrolls the towel carefully on the floor in front of her, revealing a belt with two holsters, each carrying a Colt Navy revolver, their dark iron scuffed from use along with their worn wooden grips. Judge Washington gasps at the sight.
My name is Viva, not Squaw, and I ain't stopping shit.
Viva lunges at Judge Washington, kicks the legs out from under him. Judge Washington falls forward hard, breaking bones upon his landing. Unable to let out a full cry, he takes a hit to the side of his head, causing him to bleed from his scalp. When the judge regains his senses, he's on his hands and knees, crawling to the toes of Josefa's desert-stained boots that she'd been treating beneath her long dress the whole day. Raising his head, he meets the barrel of her pistol arched down at him, and with it, Josefa taps him on the nose. Act 3, Scene 2. Viva is standing with her back against the back wall of the courtroom. Held up to her chest is Judge Washington. His back to her, she reluctantly rests her chin on his shoulder as she keeps the steak knife, still bloody from stabbing Corporal Fencher, to the judge's neck. Sitting on Judge Washington's seat, Josefa is now wearing her pistols and no longer with a pregnant belly. She's using one of Judge Washington's candles to burn a piece of paper. It's the execution order for Alejandro.
That damn fool Bob McGee was telling the truth.
Bob McGee, so that's his name.
When the warrant is finished burning, Josefa turns her attention to the desk and starts to look through it.
Hurry up, Chicana, you're taking too long with those papers.
Josefa stops on the document she was looking for, holding it up to the candlelight. It's the American deed to Don Obregon Flynn. Taking it, she holds it to the flame and watches it burn.
All you're doing is wasting paper, making this room smell more rank. As soon as I'm out of here, I'm gonna write 2 more death warrants with both you girls, with both your girls' name on it.
You shut up now, devil. Hey, Chicana, you got rid of that stupid paper? Now let's get this devil and go.
Hey, who said anything about gutting him?
Bitches can't touch me.
I can, and I will.
What if I told you that this devil has a price on his head? A big one.
I don't care about gold. This devil's been signing papers for the white man's army my whole life, and every time he signs one more of my people die, and more of our land is taken.
Don't worry about that. His days of signing papers are done.
You girls go on and let your little idiot selves believe that.
Stephen jams the knife further against the Judge Washington's neck, drawing blood.
It's too late for that. The devil has done his work. My people are gone. All that's left is killing him for what he's done.
I can't let you do that.
Chicana, don't be telling me what I can and can't do.
I did not go through a whole day of serving this old white man, putting up with all his old white man shit for no pay. And if you stop his heart even a moment before it's supposed to, that's it. I get nothing.
Then you get nothing. Eva starts to etch the knife into Judge Washington's neck. Josefa places her left hand on her holstered pistol and raises her right to caution Diva to stop.
No, come on now. You can wait. Leave it, right?
Diva nods her head, still maintaining her rough grip on Judge Washington.
Diva, my name is Josefa. Mucho gusto. ¿Oíste?
Ajá, Lani, Chicana bandita.
That's right. I'm a bandit. That's what I do. Now, Don Obregon, he has a son named Pedro, and his brothers pay me all sum of gold to come to this town and bring him this white judge's head.
Wait, did this Pedro Obregon say that?
Say what?
Did Pedro Obregon say you can bring him the devil's head?
I mean, yeah, those are his words, but they only pay me half, so I figured if I was going to have to see them all again, might as well take the judge. You know, kidnapping paying more than a hit. Figured even the old man himself might pitch me some gold if he saw the honorable Judge Washington there in front of him, all wrapped up like a present.
Damn your gold. Just take the sons and their father and the devil's head and be done with it.
You mean?
Josefa brings her hand across her neck in a cutting motion.
What happened, outlaw? Don't got the stomach to get your hands a little bloody?
Hey, ward dog. The preferred term is the shoots. And, I don't know, I just never cut nobody's head off before. They say break them their head. I usually just shoot the guy.
Fine then, I'll do it. And to avenge my village, I'll go slow.
Eva starts to move the knife in a sawing motion against Judge Washington's neck.
Oh my God! Who art in heaven? Please, Lord, help me.
Deputy Phillips can be heard at the door.
Your Honor, are you still here?
Deputy! Deputy!
Deputy Phillips hears Judge Washington calling for him, but not caring to pay attention to the judge's tone, rushes in excitedly. Phillips enters.
Judge, you wouldn't believe what happened. The troopers and the doctor are dead and...
Deputy Phillips notices the situation.
Oh, shit.
Deputy Phillips is barely able to place a hand on the holster of his gun before Josefa quick draws the pistol on her right, shooting him down and reholstering the gun before his body hits the ground.
We gotta go now.
Then let's take his head.
A shotgun blast rips through the room, bursting through the front door, causing it to swing back and forth from the force. To escape the blast, Josefa and Diva dive to the floor. Judge Washington, still held in Diva's grasp, falls with her. His size, making him bigger and slower, causes him to take a lone shotgun pellet to his ribs. Judge Washington lets out a soft cry on his way to the floor in pain.
Judge Washington, Deputy Bennett, either of y'all alive in there?
Why did you come in and find out, lawman?
Hey, who is that?
I'm Tonta Singh.
You're what?
I am blessed. Virgen Guadalupe.
Sheriff Banks fires the second of the two shots he has in his double-barrel shotgun. The blast sweeps through the small courtroom with destruction, showering Josefa, Oliva, and Judge Washington with glass and debris.
Okay, Tonancino or Virgen Lupe, whatever kind of whore you are. I'm reloading this shotgun when I do. I'm going to.
Stop being a lever and bring your buster ass in here already.
The sound of Sheriff Banks's boots and spurs could be heard as he slowly made his way into the courtroom. Hearing this and believing it to be the end, Eva starts to stab Judge Washington, sticking him with her steak knife across the body and neck. Judge Washington, so disabled from the stabbings, opens his mouth but is no longer able to scream. Too focused on the coming sheriff to notice Eva stabbing Judge Washington to death, Josefa rises to her feet and readies her stance. Sheriff Bank enters. He has the shotgun, breech opened and draped over his forearm. One shell is already loaded and he is just pressing his thumb into the back of the second to load it when he sees her.
My. I see the rumors were true.
Sometimes they are.
Mind if I sit this down? We're gonna do this. I like to do this.
Sheriff Banks takes the shotgun off his forearm but does not close the breech to load it. Instead, holds it out to Josefa and then motions it towards the desk.
Go right ahead. It's gonna be the last thing you ever do, Sheriff.
Sheriff Banks answers with a smile and walks over to Judge Washington's desk. Libe and the now dying Judge Washington are obscured from view by their positioning of being sprawled out on the floor behind the desk and between the pushed out chair. Sheriff Banks places the shotgun atop the desk and then steps away.
I'm confident for a reasonable. Could it be that you've done this before?
Sheriff Banks steps backwards to his right to put some distance between him and Josefa. He stops when the back of his legs touches the seat against the wall. He is now positioned directly opposite of Josefa.
I confess, you're not going to be the first sheriff I shot.
You brand new bitch.
Both Josefa and Sheriff Banks quick draw for their guns. Josefa quickly drawing her right hand pistol. She fires dead center to Sheriff Banks' chest, causing him to miss his shot. She fires 2 more shots into his chest. Josefa hoists her right hand pistol and watches him fall backwards, landing in one of the seats behind him. The gun sliding off his hand, Sheriff Banks, just barely alive, struggles to raise his head, doing his best to mumble and slur out an obscenity. Josefa quick draws her left hand pistol and fires 1 more time, catching Sheriff Banks in the forehead, killing him instantly. He hunches over still seated, with his head hanging low and lifeless. Act 3, Scene 3. Josefa and Viva are standing, looking down at Judge Washington's body.
Now you did it.
I told you I would.
So you're taking his head then?
No, you take his head. It's your bad.
It's your stabbing. And as you could see, I could have handled it.
Chicana, how was I supposed to know about those hands?
So take the head.
Fine. But when it gets gross and starts to stink, remember who asked me to.
Eva readjusting her grip on her steak knife, edging a sharp point towards in its serrated edge angled upwards.
To hear your notifications.
Act 3, Scene 5. Josefa and Viva stand side by side, positioned directly in front of the door to the courthouse. The head of Judge Washington now in a sack, swinging at the side of Josefa, who is holding it in her left hand with her pistol in her right. Eva is holding the sheriff's double-barrel shotgun and has it ready at the hip.
So with all the shooting, whoever's out there knows we're coming. So we might have to shoot our way out.
The sheriff is laid out right here, and the deputy is laid out over there. Who knows we're coming?
I don't know. The town, everyone. So there's trouble. We run away from it and towards the nearest forces.
Got it.
Good.
Taking the shotgun in one hand and raising it upwards for support, Eva leans forward to open the door with her left. But when she does so, she places her hand on the knob but holds for a second.
Hey, Chicana,
¿Qué?
half the money you get for that head is mine, right?
No.
Bitch.
Steven twists the doorknob and pulls the door of the courthouse open. The door is so shot up from Sheriff Banks's onslaught, Steven nearly takes it off the hinges with the force of her excitement. Act 3, Scene 6. Outside of the courtroom/town. Facing Viva and Josefa is the U.S. 9th Cavalry, lined up and ready to shoot them.
Puta madre.
Aha! Alejandro enters, running in and holding his lever-action rifle, and levels it at the troopers.
Pinches gabachos.
Alejandro and the troopers exchange gunfire. Alejandro kills and wounds several troopers. They shoot him down in return. Josefa and Viva take the opportunity and run. They halt their run when they see that there are no forces still, so they must run back to the troopers. Turning to face the troopers, Josefa and Viva are ready to rush them, but stop when Rivera and the miners attack. Rivera, Santana, Delgado, and the other miners enter stage and start to shoot it out with the troopers. Josefa and Viva run through the troopers. Josefa and Viva each firing their pistol and shotgun to clear a way for them. Josefa and Viva exit.
Tierra y libertad. 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 Libertad.
Rivera yells and fires wildly with 2 pistols. He is shot down by the troopers. Santana and the fire their pistols and drag Rivera off the stage. They exit. Act 3, Scene 7. Town. Josefa and Viva enter and see a carriage waiting for them. Packing the carriage are Mr. Leonard and Mr. Rosier, their driver waiting with the reins. 3 troopers enter, chasing after Josefa and Viva. They stop and take aim. The first trooper fires, his shot hits Viva. Viva turns and exchanges fire with the other 2 troopers. Her shotgun takes all 3 troopers out, and she is shot down in turn. Josefa stops and runs back to Viva, but stops when she sees she is dead. Josefa runs towards the carriage. Mr. Leonard and Mr. Rosier enter the carriage. Josefa grabs the carriage door and jumps in. Gunfire is heard all around her. Act 3, Scene 8. Josefa, Mr. Leonard, and Mr. Rosier are sitting in the carriage.
You.
Mr. Leonard attempts to reach for a pistol in his jacket, but is shot down by Josefa's quick draw. His body falling lifeless between Mr. Rosier and Josefa. Leveling her gun at Mr. Rosier, the man raises his hand in defeat.
Now move!
The sound of the carriage moving can be heard. Josefa throws the sack with the head of Judge Washington at Mr. Rosier. Landing in his lap, Mr. Rosier screams. Act 3, Scene 9. Saloon. The saloon is lively and clearly in a different and much larger town than before. Bob McGee is sitting at the bar with another drink in his hand. Next to him is Josefa, disguised as a barmaid.
That Judge Washington, a good man he was, as honest, God fearing white man, but no, he didn't believe me neither, did that sheriff. Now look where they are, dead.
Believe you about that Mexican woman, then.
Damn, Senorita, haven't you been listening to me? The greaser whore is the reason for all this. The judge, the sheriff, his deputy.
You forgot about the doctor.
The doctor, all them troopers, and most of all, my dear old pa.
Is that right?
Damn it, of course it's right. I've been telling you, and damn near anyone else will stand to hear me.
Well, it is a good story.
Good story. You're kidding me. No? Don't answer that. Anyway, come on, brown sugar. How much?
4.
Don't pretend like you haven't done this a million times. Silly Mexican. How much for a good time?
Oh, a good time, huh? Like the time of your life?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. How much for that?
Oh, about 6.
6.
Josefa quick draws her revolver, pointing it at him. Bob McGee tips over his drink as he raises his hand, stunned. Josefa opens his cylinder and spins it, showing off the 6 rounds before closing it and resuming her aim. Josefa smiles. Close curtains. A lone gunshot is heard. The end.
Appreciate y'all.
You want me to do this? Okay, yeah, if you could stay, it'd be much appreciated, so we could, give some feedback. And that's usually in the playwriting class, we start with, what's working, what's resonating with you. So that's, I won't follow the structure like too close. But what do you like?